guys. Today we're going to learn about distance formula. Are you excited? Okay, so today we're going to do the distance formula. The distance between 2 points on a number line is always the absolute value of the difference in the two numbers. It's always the absolute value because you guys know distance can never be negative, right?
Yep.
A length is never negative. It's always positive. So if you just subtract the two numbers and then take the absolute value, that's always the distance. So you're going to have some problems on your assignment like this where you have to find the distance between 2 points. I think some of these might even be, no, this year's assignment's a little bit different. Okay, so if I want to find the distance between B and W, what's the location of point B?
1.
1. What's the location of point W? 5. So if you just subtract the numbers, 4. You could even just count if it's on a number line. 1, 2, 3, 4.
No way.
Pretty easy. If I want the distance between T and B, T is at -4, B is at 1. So -4 minus 1 is what?
-5.
-5, but the absolute value. Or you can just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whatever's easiest for you. The distance between S and T. So this is at -7. T is at -4. So -7 minus -4. -3. But then you take the absolute value.
3.
3, or you can count 1, 2, 3. Make sense?
Yep.
Are you guys going to be able to do those
Yes.
first 8 problems on your assignment?
Do it right now. 3.
Okay. Questions so far? Not too bad yet?
No.
Okay, yesterday we did some distance formula problems. I want to show you where the distance formula comes from. Have you guys ever heard of the Pythagorean Theorem?
Yep, triangles.
Do you know what the Pythagorean Theorem is?
A squared plus B squared equals C squared.
A squared plus B squared equals C squared, yes. And you know that C is always the hypotenuse, right? So it doesn't matter which sides are A and B, but C is always the hypotenuse. So if you wanted to find the distance between 2 points, I don't know, I'll just make up a couple points. If I wanted to find the distance between 2 points, the distance formula comes from the Pythagorean Theorem. So if I wanted this length, I would subtract 3 minus 0. So just like subtracting x2 minus x1, 3 minus 0, so this length would be 3. If I wanted this distance, I would subtract 4 minus 0, so this length would be 4. And it's A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So all I did was subtract x2 minus x1, and then you got to square it. A squared plus B squared. And then that would equal C squared. But do you know how to solve something, how to undo something that's been squared? Like if I knew C squared equals 25,
Take the square root.
square root it. So that's where the square root comes from. Did you guys know that that's where the distance formula came from?
Yes.
A squared plus B squared, equals C squared. So that's the distance formula. So I just wanted to show you where that formula came from. So, the distance formula, you might want to write it on your worksheet. Oh, it's already on there. Just kidding. So, the distance formula is x2 minus x1 quantity squared, A squared, plus y2 minus y1 squared, quantity squared. So, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. That would give you the distance. So, let's practice. Let's practice. We're going to find the distance between 2, 3 and 4, 4. So this would be my x1, y1. Remember we talked yesterday, points are always x, y, x, y. So if we use the formula, x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared, all under square root. Do you guys remember how to type it in the calculator?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so my point is 2, 3, and 4, 4. 2, 3, 4, 4. x1, y1, x2, y2. So to get the square root, do the lime green second button. And then do you remember which button to push?
The x2.
X squared, and then you get the square root. Then you do parentheses. And I have to do x2 minus x1, so which two numbers would I subtract? 4 minus 2. Close the parentheses, and then don't forget to square it. Remember, it's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So you have to square it, and to get the little 2 there, you just hit that x squared button, which is next to the 7. And then you can't forget the plus sign, a squared plus b squared. Don't forget that plus sign, that'll give you the wrong answer. And then we got to subtract the y, so what's y2 minus y1? 4 minus 3, close parentheses, and square it. Don't forget the squaring part. Hit enter, and you guys should have got radical 5.
Yep.
Are you good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's practice one more.
So the distance is radical.
So the distance would be radical 5, and I will want you to leave your answer in radical today. Okay, so this one, x1, y1, x2, y2. So negative 7, negative 3. Sometimes it helps to label your points so you don't accidentally put like x1, x2, y1. I've seen people do that. So maybe x comma y, x comma y. So negative 7, negative 3. Negative 7, negative 3. And what's the other point? I don't remember. 5, 2. Whoops. So x1, y1, x2, y2. So I've got to subtract the x's first. So do lime green second button and x squared. Then parentheses, what's x2 and x1?
5 minus negative 7 would be
5 minus negative 7. Close parentheses and square it. And then what do I not forget?
Square.
The plus sign.
Plus sign, good. And then I got to subtract my y's. 2 minus negative 3. Close parentheses and square it. And you guys know there's a difference between a minus sign and a negative sign, right?
Yeah.
It'll give you a syntax error. Close parentheses, square it, hit enter, and that answer is 13.
Yep.
Okay. I do have a couple from your worksheet. So this one is number 17 on your worksheet. Let's look at a couple like this because these I don't have points. I don't know what the points are. So this is number 17. How do I find the location of point F? Do you guys remember that?
Rides over rock.
You have to go left or right first, then up or down. So on this one I go left, 1, 2, 3. So it would be negative 3, comma, and then how far down am I going?
2.
Negative 2. So you go right or left first, then up or down to find the point. Okay, G is to the right 1 and up 1, so 1, 1. And then again, it helps me to label my points, x1, y1, x2, y2. And it doesn't matter which point you label as x1, y1, and x2, y2. It doesn't matter. Okay. So, lime green second button, x squared. I do parentheses. I've got to do x2 minus x1, so what am I subtracting? You guys know? 1 minus negative 3. Close parentheses and square it.
Add.
Then don't forget the plus sign. And then I gotta subtract my y's. So what's my y numbers?
1.
1 minus negative 2. Close parentheses and square it. Hit enter. Did you guys get 5?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, this one is number 20. So let's figure out where these points are. Where is point E? How far to the left do I go?
3.
3. So negative 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, 4. Did you guys get negative 3, negative 4?
Yep.
And then this point is 1, 2, 3, 4, comma, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 4. So x1, y1, x2, y2. And it does not matter which point you label the first point, which point you label the second point. Okay, so lime green's second button x squared. Parentheses, what is my x2 minus x1?
4 minus -3.
4 minus -3, good.
Whoa.
Close parentheses, square it, and then don't forget the
Plus sign.
plus. I just don't want you to make a silly little mistake. And then we got to subtract the y's, so 4 minus -4. 4 minus -4. Close parentheses and square it. Hit enter. Did you guys get radical 113?
Yes.
And that's how I want you to leave your answers, in radical. So some of your answers will have a radical sign around them, some of them will not. Are there questions?
0.
Do you think it's hard? Easy? Easy? So math stands for mental abuse to humans. Do you guys think so?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so you just have your assignment to work on. Now the very last problem, number 21, you'll need to use your graph paper for. So you'll have to graph those points and then find the distance and then find the perimeter. So do you know how to find perimeter?
Yeah.
Just add all the way around. Okay, if you guys have questions, just ask. I've got the answer key so we can compare. Make sure you're getting the right answers. I'll walk around. That's it for today. Have a great day.